Hi students, this is Dr.Nisha Varshney once again with your last chapter of political science, that is outcomes of democracy. This chapter is actually based on conclusion of last 2 years of yours as a student of political science from class 9th and 10th. So the name of the chapter is outcome. What did we concluded after reading so many chapters in political science? So what exactly we have concluded, and what challenges did we face, and what things we liked in democracy? So we are going to cover everything in that. So let's get started. So first topic is that how do we assess democracy's outcomes? So how do we assess? So what is the measurement of it? How do we test whether the democracy is good or bad? So there are certain things which can be checked upon. There are certain things which cannot be. For an example, there are two terms, qualitative and quantitative. So quantitative means you can calculate. Qualitative you can just see, okay, and you can just measures in your mind. And about democracy, so economical growth, we can see what is the per capita income of the country, and how many people are literate, what is the enrollment ratio in school, health of the people of the country, how many are dying, infant mortality rate. So these are the qualitative terms. But there are certain quantitative terms, previously was quantitative, and this one which I am going to say talk about is qualitative, in which we are going to see practices of the people. How do they practice in the society? For an example, if India is a democracy, where we have to practice equality. But question is this, are we practice it fully? We need to check it. We need to consider it. We need to weigh it. Are we actually do we practice equality in terms of gender, caste and religion that we did in chapter 4? Major issues of the society, and all the problems are based on these inequalities. So certainly at some level we cannot measure, at certain level we can measure the outcome of democracy. Fine. So the first topic is in bullet point. It is just revising us by telling us what did we learn in class 9, what is democracy. So there are 5 bullet points. First, it promotes equality. It promotes, it does not promise. 2, it enhances dignity of the citizens. If you get some problem, you can go to police, you can go to the court. So it helps you in maintaining your dignity and respect in the society. It helps in improving quality of decision making. Once all the people are sitting in the parliament, so they all have to vote to make any bill a law, else that bill will be thrown into the dustbin. So there is always a negotiation, discussion, debate. So whatever decision will be taken in the end will be helpful for the people and will benefit the citizens. Next we have, if there is any conflict, so it is, we are always ready for the government is always ready for the discussion. And if the government is not fulfilling your wishes, you can change next time. Wait for more years, 2, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years at the most. You can change the government. So this way, what is that? So it helps in resolving the conflict. In the last one, it allows to correct its own mistake. If some government has done mistake, something has been done, so the government is removed. It knows what was the wrong thing I did. The other political party may take advantage of it, will not repeat that mistake. Okay, so it is all about relationship of citizens and the government, and nothing is always smooth and fine. It keeps on changing, correct? So we need to understand where can we make more ways to improve our social structure, political structure, and can improve economically and support each other. So everything in a nutshell we are going to look at this in chapter. So I have discussed what did we learn in class 9. So first question, what does democracy promise? So these 5 points you have to write. What does democracy promise? And next it is written that over 100 countries of the world today practice some kind of a democracy, but not 100%. We need to see every country individually and check and measure it. We cannot fix one parameter on all the countries. If they claim that they are democratic but they are not, then what will you do? See, you have done you have seen this in chapter 2nd of class 9th, why democracy and what is democracy. There you saw many countries in which you can actually see they are democracy only by the name. They are not practicing it properly. So how can you measure their progress? So everything we have to keep in mind before measuring any outcome. If we talk about India, then we are going to see separately, but this chapter is is talking about all the countries in a collaborative way, correct? So after going through this, you will understand that democracy cannot promise anything, that I will give you this. Democracy can always create conditions. What is condition? As a parent, you can be provided good books, good school, good tuition teacher and good room to study. But if you don't want to study, so what will be the outcome? So same way, democracy can create condition by making laws. Okay, expect people to practice. If people are not practicing, what is the use of those laws? If the student does not want to study, what is the use of good book, school, tuition teacher and a good beautiful room which is specifically made to study? Correct? Same way, you can understand this concept. Let us move to the next three important and different terms that they are new to us: accountable, responsive and legitimate government. So accountable means responsible. First question, is government responsible? In some cases it is fully responsible, in some cases may not be responsible, depend again country to country. So it is written, the most basic outcome of democracy should be that it produces a government that is accountable to the citizen and responsive to the needs and the expectations of the citizens. So whatever we expect government to do, we want whatever we tell actual government to please do this, this is my demand, so the government should listen to me. So government has to be responsive. Okay, I will do this within 6 months, 1 year or 2 years. So the response has to be there by the government on the demands of the people. So this is the important thing. What is accountable, responsible, whatever the government is doing, taking full responsibility of it, to responsive, whatever the people are demanding and asking, so the government has to be responsive. And the third is in responsive, there is one word is also there, transparency. Whatever I am asking, I am looking for any kind of information also, so there has to be transparency. You should share that information with me. So this will come under the head of responsiveness only. It is given actually in this entire page is given in many paragraphs, and every paragraph is telling you something important about the terms which is given on the top, correct? So please read them carefully, look at the sentences, which sentences will fall into accountability, responsiveness and legitimacy. Okay, this is the little crucial chapter to actually figure out. So I can help you in that. The first paragraph is talking about just the basic definition, what we expect from the democratic government, that I have just read for you. Fine. Second paragraph, please underline the last 4 lines. Democracy is based on idea of deliberation and negotiation. So some delay is bound to take place, but it has to be in favor of the people. Correct. And the third one, third paragraph, in that I am reading 2-3 lines. Democratic government will take more time to follow procedure before arriving at a decision. So there has to be an element of delay. You cannot think quick decisions from the government, but there are certain government those who have this ability to take quick decisions also, and sometimes people do not like why are they taking quick decisions. So it is mixture of everything. So there is a one group who is favoring this quick decision, there is one group who is in favor of delaying things. So democracy is all about your opinion, how do you take it. And in the next paragraph I have just discussed about what is transparency. So there has to be an element of transparency in the functioning of the government to share information with the citizens of the country more and often. So there has to be a feeling of trust by the people, else if they will lose feel of trust in the government, so it will not solve the purpose to run the country, correct? So later on you will fail. And the last one is that there has to be an element of free and fair elections. So legitimate government. So legitimate means law should be prevailed, law should be practiced, law should be followed, it should be implemented, and it should punish those who are breaking it. So in the end, we expect government to make proper laws, implement them properly, and punish those who do not follow it. So this will put up the right example in front of the people or citizens of the country that what is democracy is all about. Okay, so democracies have had greater success in setting up regular, free and fair elections. So that law has been done, so it has been doing it. In India also we see elections are always held at regular intervals of 5 years at state as well as at center level. So but this is not found in non-democratic countries. And democracy, a government that is attentive to the need of the people is always liked, and we also expect democracy to be free from corruption. If there is a transparency in most of the practices, so there is lack of, or you can say less corruption as compared to the countries where they have more corruption. Correct. And in the last paragraph of page number 92, democratic government is legitimate government. It might be slow, less efficient, not always very responsive or clean, but a democratic government is people's own government. So again, it can only create condition, it cannot promise what is written in the constitution. So we have to practice it. Correct. So we have done 3 major terms that we expect government to be accountable, responsive and legitimate. How we expect them? It is written there. If it is not having these elements in democracy, it is going to be failed. So then this is not a democracy. Okay. Now the after qualitative we are going to the quantitative. Let us check whether we have grown or not in terms of money making, better livelihood and standard of living. Economic growth and development. Let us have a check on this. This is there is a one cartoon given. Rich people are stronger, middle and thin are poor people. So we have seen and compared some data of democratic countries, but interestingly this data is not valid because as compared to India, because most of them have less population, so we cannot compare this. But in a nutshell, what is written on page number 95 plus box, that if democracy is small, then it has very good economic growth. If democracy is large like India, it is very challenging to produce economic growth and to show it. Correct. So economic growth, yes, is measurable, but in small democracies it is doing well. Democracy is doing well in economic growth, but in large democracy it is challenging. Next topic. The question is left. How would you calculate and how would you show economic growth and development in democracies? So page number 93, whatever is written here, please read on. Very simple paragraph, so you can write 3-4 points easily out of that. Next page is plus box. As I've discussed, already told you many times, plus box do not come in the exams. Next topic. Now this is a qualitative term that we are going to measure. Is democracy is able to reduce inequality and poverty? Now what is inequality? Inequality is a social practice that we did, gender, caste, religion, and poverty is somewhat social practice, because some poor sections of society think that they cannot help, they cannot improve, they even do not try to grow. What I personally feel, if they are given chance to study in school, so sometimes they don't want to go to school, sometimes they don't want to do job, they're comfortable in begging. So in that scenario, poverty in India, which I personally feel, is not reduced. But in terms of inequality of social practices, discrimination, chua-choo, this and that we see democracy has improved in inequality of social practices, but in seeing rich and poor gap. So somewhat capitalist concept, being capitalist, that is a higher level of concept in which rich people are given priority. So yes, in some democracies we see that rich people are given more priority and they are offered more opportunities to grow. So it has been the outcome of democracy that rich people grow more in democracies as compared to the poor people. Fine. So this paragraph is the same and talking about the discrimination factor and opportunities being provided to rich and poor people. Please write the question. How democracy has reduced inequality and poverty? Please write a note on this. How democracy has performed in reducing inequality and poverty? Please write a note on that. Correct. So you can go through that. You will find whatever I have discussed is written, and you can pick up those sentences and write the answer. And I just want to bring your notice to the last line. In Bangladesh, more than half of its population lives in poverty. So Bangladesh is also a democracy, and if 50% of people are poor, so it is very, it shows failure of democracy. But in India, though we are 10 times more than Bangladesh, whatever is on the paper, so India has approximately 25% poverty till now, but I am hoping and I am hopeful that in new census of 2021 will bring better data that India has done very well in reducing poverty in terms via their programs and policies of the government. Okay, next question, and this is again qualitative. Accommodation of social diversity. Out of this entire chapter, this is the last and main important question. Please write, how democracy accommodates social diversity? How democracy accommodates social diversity? Social diversity means social groups, by providing them reservation, by giving them opportunities in education, in jobs, or in any other area. India has tried and achieved to it a large extent, and making strong laws on practices of untouchability, or by making political parties, as we've discussed in chapter 6, to bring issues of these social groups to improve them. So with the help of democracies, these social groups have improved their position in last 70 years of India's independence. Okay, so yes, social diversity has been accommodated positively in democracies, in most of the democracies, and in context of India, yes, it has been properly done. So in India also there is, or there has to be a rule that there should be the rule of majority people, not majority community. So if one community in majority, it should not have the access to rule the country always, but the majority population should be represented at the ruling level. Fine. And last topic we have dignity and freedom of the citizen. That is also a qualitative term that we are going to discuss. We are all fundamental rights we have in India. You tell me, do you have any problem in fundamental rights? Can you question any fundamental right of yours in India? You practice freedom, you have freedom to express, roam around, to do whatever you want, profess any profession, religion, marry to anyone you want if your family agrees. So government has no issues on that. So yes, we have seen that because we have got so much freedom, so we are comfortable in living life, and we get opportunities the way we want. Okay. So this way we would say that yes, democracy has helped in enhancing the dignity of the citizen. So last question of this chapter, how democracy has helped in improving dignity of the citizens. In association of this question, continuation of this question, dignity of women separately. How women has been helped in democracy to achieve their freedom. Had there not been democracy, women had not been independent the way you see them today. They had never got political rights, but through democracy, they have got political rights, equality on papers, they have got opportunities to do whatever they want, and now things have improved and are improving towards improvement, and we hope so that future also will see equality. There will not be a gender practice. Right, that is the main objective of democracy, and which is written here. So you can write the question on this is, democracy in India has strengthened the claim of disadvantaged and discriminated caste for equal status and equal opportunity. This is the answer, how democracy has enhanced the dignity of the citizen. And in case of women, that women have fought their own wars and they have been recognized equally. So they have transformed the society. Last question of this chapter, which is normally asked in value based language, is that The fact that people are complaining is itself a testimony to success of democracy. I am repeating. The fact that you can pause me whenever you want, the video, and you can rerun, you can listen to me again. The fact that people are complaining is itself a testimony to success of democracy. Yes, that making complaints by the people proves that people are not happy with something. So government should be always geared up and always be there to help support people and to bring new laws and to help them more. Correct? So this way, what is happening? We are seeing what? We are watching what? We are seeing that government is always there, and they cannot think that I am sleeping, now my country has been set up. It cannot be done. So complaints of the citizens keep on running the democracy in a positive way. So answer is very positive. So this way we have covered qualitative comparisons of democracy and quantitative. In qualitative, basically economical growth we have seen, but rest of them we have seen in terms of qualitative. Okay, so economic growth is quantitative, dignity of citizen, accommodation of social diversity, and accountability, responsiveness, and legitimacy. These are the terms of qualitative, right? So I hope this way you have understood and concluded what is democracy all about, and can we measure it or not. So in certain areas we can measure, in certain areas we cannot just measure, we have to just see and understand and feel it. So it can, in the end of this political science of class 10th, be a good citizen, be positive towards your country, follow your duties, not always look for rights, mujhe ye nahi mila, mujhe wo nahi mila. Try to give it to your country, not keeping that pressure in your mind what government has done. Do what you can do for your country. Pay your income tax, do not break red lights, do not throw garbage on the streets. Practice these things in your life. I will say that you are the best citizen. I wish all of you to be a good student of political science and continue to study this subject in higher classes as well, and being a responsible bureaucrat, politician, social worker in any field of social sciences. Thank you so much.